Welcome to another episode of SOS VHS. Today, Carlos and I have a great guest with us. She's a stand-up comedian, a super funny lady, a writer, and an actress. She's Andrea Jin, and we're talking about her favorite movie, Palm Springs. So, grab your popcorn, relax, and crack open a beer. Enjoy.
Let's start it off right.
With one of these?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll do
We can
this.
start by cracking it open.
I'm gonna pretend I did it. Yay.
Can somebody open mine and pour it into my mouth, please?
I'll give you a little bit.
Glug, 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 glug.
Yum.
How come? Well, first of all, thank you for coming on.
How come?
How come is this your favorite movie? Let's start with that. How is
Okay.
a
Well-
movie that came in 2020, right?
Well, it's difficult. I mean, favorite movie is a hard. I feel like it's a charged question.
Okay, or a movie that has a lot of significance for you.
Yes. Well, first of all, it's funny. It's
Yeah.
fun. I love Palm Springs, and it's like more than just a funny movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a little deeper than that.
It's
too.
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of heart.
There was, it's a love story. It's
It's
an
a romantic
unconventional
comedy, yeah.
comedy. Like rom-coms are so kind of one note, but this had more layers to it, and I appreciated that. But then I still get to watch a love story,
Yeah.
which I love. Yeah.
Do you like movies that have the time loop?
Groundhog Day. I've never seen Groundhog
Oh.
Day. Yeah.
Or what about that Tom Cruise movie, The Edge of Tomorrow?
That was good. But there's also this Pete Davidson and Kaylee Cuoco movie that came out for Peacock.
yeah.
I know
And
that one.
it was a time loop movie after this,
Yeah.
and it was a piece of shit.
Really?
Yeah, that was a terrible
That's really
one.
bad. Okay, I feel like most time loop, it's hard to master.
Of course.
Yeah.
That
The time loop
style.
itself.
The time loop too, yeah, getting out of it.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this movie to be like that. The first time I watched it, I didn't...
Good or about a time loop?
The time loop thing.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't expecting... Well, I also wasn't expecting it to be that good, honestly.
Like Palm Springs?
Yeah, when I
Oh,
saw
okay.
the trailer and like the direct to Hulu kind of thing, I was like, okay, whatever, I'll watch it. But I was so surprised how
You know what I
fun it
thought
was to
gonna be
watch.
good? Pop Star was so good.
I loved Popstar.
Because it was written so well. It
Yeah.
was, and I know we talk about him a lot on this show, but it came from Apatow,
Yeah.
and they spent
Oh, I didn't
over.
know Apatow
He
had
produced
something to do
Popstar.
with Popstar.
Yeah.
Well, he made.
Carlos tries to, it's his thing. He will say his name at least 3 times,
Yeah.
no matter
Well,
what we're
because of
talking
the
about.
scripts, because of the writing of the script,
Yeah.
because
No, I
it takes
know, I
so
know.
long, and I
Right.
firmly believe that's why the movies are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they like Lonely Island. They're very strong writers.
Oh, I love Andy Samberg. He's my boss on TV show I'm writing with. It's his TV show. I was a writer in his room.
Right.
Oh yeah,
He's my boss.
How cool is he?
He's so cool. He's
Yeah.
so adorable.
That's
He's
what I
like
heard.
so nice and charming. Yeah. No complaints. And I love his movies. So
So let's go back in time a little bit. So you came to the U.S. when you were 10, right?
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
From then until I watched Palm Springs, we
Yeah.
go
We have like
From that
those 20
two milestones.
17 years in oh yeah.
I mean, I watched it during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that's when it came out. I feel like that helped. I mean, someone said it helped it become more popular.
I think so.
And then it had that whole thing at Sundance, right? Like it was
was
like
the
the highest grossing, or sorry, it was the biggest sale.
Was it
biggest
10 or
sale.
20 million. It was.
I think it was
crazy.
20. It was 20.
It was a terrible year for movies, right? Like the Sundance, everybody disappeared.
Yeah.
Like
The last time that'll happen, probably right. It was like the last week where you could make $20 million in a movie.
I
and
think
they
it's gone.
Did it?
Yeah.
It was,
Good for
it's
them.
crazy.
Good
Yeah.
for them though. I like the good guys get money. I like that.
Yeah.
Like comedy writers. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And such an underdog movie, I feel like it's like one of those that I say, okay, well, it's us.
Yeah, I feel like people don't talk about it that much.
No.
Like
not
it's
really.
kind of like slid under the radar, but I think it's like really good and deserving of more attention.
It's
I mean,
incredible.
that's why I'm talking about it.
Yeah. I think comedies usually, they have a little bit of a less reputation. We never talk about that, but those movies like the Oscar movies are never comedies. So here and there, there's something, or they might have some humor.
They put them together too fast. That's why I think the Pete Davidson movie was bad, like about the time loop. I think they write them really quickly and they get someone attached and then they just don't make it. It's like,
I feel also they look a little less cinematic, meaning like they're usually a little more brightly lit, and like let the actors do the thing more improv, more, I don't know. I feel like it's not. So for some reason, people consider them less. I think they're the hardest. I think I would be always scared to make a comedy because the verdict comes right away, right?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
You don't laugh. That's,
I mean,
it's like
people
stand up.
People say it's hard. Like everybody can do drama, but then it's hard to do comedy. Like they say that about acting, but I feel that way about like the writing too. Because like it's easy to write a story. I mean, it's not easy to write a story. It's difficult, but then you plot it out. You plug in A, B, and C, and then most of the time you won't go wrong.
I agree.
Like,
There's conventions to play with that know that you map it out.
In order for comedy to work, like it has to be funny. Like there's no formula to comedy. You kind of just have to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel very similar about stand-up. You feel it. Like when you try something, it doesn't work. It's silent. It's like, that it wasn't funny.
Honestly, there's no rhyme or reason when it comes to when I write stand-up.
Right.
Really, it doesn't. I don't have a formula. I just kind of like have a funny topic and then I just go off of it.
Does it have to come from like a good
stage.
place though? Like, can you be angry and write stand-up comedy?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like usually anger is very funny because it's like getting riled up about anything.
Yeah.
Like nothing is really worth being angry for. Like nothing
So
really
that
in
itself is
life.
funny.
Yeah, so
that's
then
funny. Okay.
So then like if you get angry about anything, it is funny.
Yeah.
And then like to say it in front of an audience, it can just seem very petty and funny. Like the smaller the thing you're mad about, the funnier it is, really.
That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say anger is very funny.
How do you got into stand-up comedy? Was that the dream when you came here, or even back in China? Were you always funny when you were a kid, or?
Yeah, I mean, I was a funny kid. Like when I was a like tiny little baby, I wouldn't take photos unless I was wearing sunglasses and a hat. I needed to wear my sunglasses and hat.
That's like me.
Yeah.
But I didn't know about like I had no idea that was such a diva like gangster kind of like move. But I did that since I was a baby. But my mom said it's because she was I was scared that someone was gonna shave my head, because she shaved my head in my sleep when I was a child.
Wow.
Because to make there's this like myth in Asian, I don't know, maybe it's all over
lies.
the world. Yeah, there's this lie that if you shave your head, like it grows back thicker. So then she's it's kind of common in Asia.
Can we just end this argument?
Yes. It was a.
Oh my God.
It was a
Okay,
myth.
skeleton. You know
Oh
what I
my
look
God.
like.
It was a myth.
I'm bald too.
Okay.
It's okay. I'm bald.
Carlos have been trying this since he heard that story, and it's not working out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm bald too. It's
I went in
okay.
a time loop and I've been growing it out. No.
I got no
think
hair, no
my-
skin.
I think they were talking about babies.
Yeah.
But like babies, like apparently that's what they said in China. And then so she shaved my head, and then it happened one time, and so I just wouldn't go to sleep without a hat.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
That's I don't know if it's traumatizing for you or
It was.
yeah, that's like fascinating though.
But how old were you? For you to
It was
remember?
maybe like 3.
Oh.
I mean, no, she told me that
Right.
that's why
Yeah.
that I don't. She said that's why that I wouldn't go to sleep without a hat on. Yeah, but then I always wore hats and sunglasses and photos. I would not take a photo. All of our family portraits, everybody looks really nice. I have sunglasses and a hat on. Like as a baby, I was like tiny, this small.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, I guess I was always funny.
Seeking for attention.
Yeah, because that's like kind of funny.
Yeah.
And then later on, I was like funny in school. I would make my friends laugh, and then I would pee my pants. They didn't pee their
Immediately
pants, but I pee my pants. Yeah. I would be so funny with my friends that I pee my pants.
By laughing.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
And then, well, I saw a lot of your stand-up, and obviously I feel like stand-up,
Thank you.
like any other art form, comes from inside, and you joke a lot about, you know, being Chinese or like being a foreigner. And I'm wondering, was it harder to write in English? I mean, I know you've been here since you're 10, but like the idea of like being funny in a different language, I feel is so difficult and always.
I know. I like the definitely. It's English is my second language, but then I think in English now, you know, I think that transferred over quite early. Maybe I was like immediately, almost like 11 or 12. I think my thinking, processing everything inside became English voice. But before that, it was definitely like Mandarin in my head. So now I identify more with like North American English sensibilities, humor, everything. I don't really think about Mandarin. Like, so it wasn't hard because I started stand-up when I was like 21. So at that age, it was like
already an American.
Yeah, I already in my head is all
Here in LA?
Brainwashed.
You started in LA?
No, I started in Vancouver. Yeah, I was brainwashed.
That's cool.
In Vancouver, in Canada.
I went there for the first time this year. It was beautiful. Yeah.
I love Vancouver. Why were you there?
I was there with bad friends, actually. It was the first stop on our tour.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it was a good time. I really
Our
liked
only
the people there.
international date yet.
No, we had Toronto,
Yeah, we
actually.
have Toronto.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Canada, I meant.
Do you like Vancouver more or Toronto?
I like Vancouver.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know, everybody, I
Very
say
West
this
Coast.
to everyone. I always say that, like, stupid fucking, like, Toronto people always try to argue with me that Vancouver is better when they've never been to Vancouver.
Oh, you mean
like,
Toronto's better? Yeah.
that Vancouver is not as good as
I see.
Toronto.
Yeah,
They always want to argue that Toronto is better when they've never been to Vancouver. I've been to both, but they won't listen to me.
Vancouver is awesome.
Stupid Toronto people won't listen
I
to me.
think Toronto,
Fucking Drake.
Toronto has that like, look that is very US. I feel like
Toronto
that's what,
feels like it feels like
little New York,
like new, no York, just new.
New.
Like that's what it
Yeah,
feels
yeah.
like. But also Toronto was crazy because like I thought I was gonna see all white people. I saw like it was all like Muslim people.
Yeah, it's
like
pretty diverse.
I saw like a Mexican at the restaurant.
Just one.
The
And
one.
she was like,
Just one.
I
No.
He got lost. He went up too far.
No,
north.
it was this, okay, let's No, it's this girl. She was my waitress, and she goes, I was like, where are you from? She's like, Mexico.
Wow.
And I was like, you really skipped
Yeah, you came up.
over America. Okay.
You got up
Interesting.
here
So when did you move to LA?
a year ago. Yeah. I was
Nice.
here last year, September 1st. I moved into my apartment.
You like it?
I love it. I love America. I think I identify with America more than Canada. American sensibilities.
Like guns?
I love guns.
Yeah, you're like, you're like, you have like an edge to you. Like,
Thank
there's
you.
like an American edge to it. Like,
Really?
yeah, it's like Canada.
I love that.
Yeah, it's like,
Less polite?
but I feel like your like ambitions are too big for Canada. Like,
Yes.
you need to be like, this is big leagues. Like, I feel like,
Yes.
yeah.
I'm very
Wow.
ambitious.
That's the vibe you give off. Yeah.
Thank you. That's such a compliment. Cause like, Canada is all about making yourself smaller.
Hell
all
no.
Yeah, right? It's like, no, fuck you. Like, I'm not.
Yeah.
So, and I learned a lot from Canada. It's like my home or whatever. But I grew up watching movies from America. I grew up watching TV from America, stand up from America. Like I am a child of, the United States, basically. I was just living above the border. That's all. So
My dad was like that in Mexico City.
Really?
He watched everything American. He's very he's so American. He doesn't even like Mexicans half the time. I'm always like, Dad, it's
but
fine.
The reason I moved
That's
here was
funny.
also like the pop culture, like
Yeah.
I always was in love with music and
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
and
Even
from the
Saddam
US.
Hussein was like a big Pulp Fiction.
Right.
They found
Yeah.
like Tarantino movies.
All the dictators,
Really?
all dictators love movies for
I
some
know.
reason.
all the
all-
dictators, they love Quentin Tarantino.
I know. I bet like Kim Jong Un's like palace has like PlayStation 5.
For
like,
sure.
But you know, like how Stalin, Hitler, they all had the secret movie theater, and they played the movies for them, and
they just want to be part of Hollywood. They would have stopped dictating.
they were frustrated actors,
just
That's
like
the
Trump.
problem.
It was like Trump. He felt rejected by Hollywood.
That's so
That's the big
true.
Yeah, I remember Clooney said that when Clooney said he'll never be president. He's like a Hollywood reject.
But he was
Yes.
big on TV. I mean, he could.
Trump, of course.
Yeah, but he was never like accepted.
Yeah.
You can be popular but not accepted by the Hollywood.
See what we
Bannon
did,
said that
Hollywood,
too.
what you did.
But Bannon was saying that about himself because he worked at that. I forgot what company it was. Castle Rock.
Yeah.
Or something. It was like part of the Seinfeld production company. And I remember he said the same thing about Hollywood, that he never felt accepted. And he even, I think Steve Bannon even bought, like he rented an office on Cannon Drive by Wilshire in Beverly Hills
Yeah.
just to feel like cool in a way, where Gersh Agency
That's
used
so
to be.
funny, but it is true. Like your ego, when your ego is so big, it's like
Can't buy your way in.
No, you can't buy your
No.
way in.
It's a popular, it's definitely like high school here. It's like you're either in or
know.
you're out.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird? High school is forever.
Yes.
Like,
I think of that
it's
with
forever.
pro athletes.
Well, are you guys the cool kids?
I feel like you're a cool
Yeah.
kid.
I think I'm more of the nerd.
But I don't feel like I'm a cool kid at all. No, I think about that with athletes because like with the NFL teams or the NBA teams, I'm like, oh, the hot girls in every city are still going after the athletes.
Yeah.
I have
Forever.
no chance. Like I go
Wow.
on dating apps and I'm going out with a Laker. I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah.
obviously I'm not going out with you.
That's why you like this movie too, because there's no
way
The
out.
star is not there's no way out, and the star is not the athlete.
No, you're at a wedding forever.
I like that he's also not he's like the boyfriend of someone at the wedding. So
I
it's
know.
like, and I've been that. It's the worst.
Really?
Misty's
Being the
boyfriend.
of
Misty,
Yeah,
boyfriend.
Misty's boyfriend.
Misty's boyfriend.
Well, when you guys went to weddings like that, would you went? I mean, you said you love Palm Springs for some reason. So, have you ever been to a wedding there?
No, I've only been to Palm Springs for Coachella.
Sick.
And yeah, when I was 21,
Yeah.
and one other time for some reason. Yeah. Yeah. But I just like, I don't know, I like the desert vibes.
Yeah.
And you
It's
just,
a gay hub too.
is it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I
Palm
had no
Springs
idea.
is like a fun. Oh my gosh! Last time I was there, I was with the gays. Oh my god!
It's very
For
fun.
some reason, you always I read a comment. That said like
Me slowly coming
out on this show.
Yeah.
You rejected.
Slowly,
You're
It's not very slow.
rapidly.
Oh my gosh! No, it's so much fun with the gays, and it was during COVID around this time. So like,
Did you guys find out? Was there an
there-
earthquake? You found a cave that you keep
My
coming
gosh.
back.
no, but we're at the pool,
Mm-hmm.
and I go, everyone, Obama's speaking about COVID. Like, remember, like Trump was so bad during COVID. Obama had to like be like, all right, I'll say something.
Mm-hmm.
He starts talking about like how hard like the country's going through hard times with protests and all this stuff, and I'm just at the pool with the gays tanning, and I was just thinking like,
And I was like,
yeah, I was like, maybe I'm not doing this whole tough time in America thing right. Maybe I should be with my brothers in Los Angeles struggling.
that's so funny.
No, fuck that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Thank you,
no,
Andrea.
enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you guys been to a wedding like this one, like the one in Palm Springs, like kind of like you are there, you don't want to be there,
Yes, but not in Palm Springs.
right?
Oh, okay. I've only ever, can you believe I've only ever been to 2 weddings?
Yes, you're a comedian.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
I feel like people in comedy don't get invited to weddings.
Or the-
Why?
Unless
Why do
there's-
people not like us?
Because it's like
They
we're
don't want to
hectic.
be made fun of that day.
We're a little hectic.
Okay,
You know.
well, and
you
the,
know why.
and you know what? The second wedding I've been to, it was a very last minute invite. Like it was I wasn't gonna get invited, but
Oh,
she.
so funny.
I think
So bad.
like everybody was asking why is she not invited, but. Yeah, no, I've the second wedding I went to, loved it actually, but the first one I remember I was like too young. It was my volleyball coach's, like assistant volleyball coach's wedding.
Oh, that's funny.
And so I went as like a teen. He invited all of us teens on the
Yeah.
team. We're like 16,
Yeah.
15,
But
16.
you didn't get to drink and like dance and stuff.
No, it was just kind of like
Weird.
weird. It was just kind of like, all right, we're at this adult function and we're from
course.
high school and we're just like this table of children, you
Yeah.
know?
I've always felt insecure about not being invited to more weddings.
Yeah.
Me
I'm like,
too.
does that say something about me? Because I have all these friends who are like, I'm going to a wedding this weekend, next weekend. I'm
Yeah.
like, no one wants me to go to your wedding.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I have friends that are on wedding tours. They're like gone for weddings for 8 months, and it's like, you know what?
It's
Yeah.
not that fun. If it's not your wedding, it's not.
Hell no.
No, you know what? I'm a
Parents.
little I'm a little like feeling left out, but I'm also glad I don't want to
Go.
to
Yeah.
a wedding. It's so
I'm
annoying.
trying to find, kind of like the core of why you guys love this movie. It's not weddings. The desert, I get that you guys like the desert, but there's plenty of desert movies. It is funny, but there's a million comedies.
Okay.
So I'm trying to say, it has to be, how you guys been dreaming about being trapped in one day. Which day would you be trapped in if you have to choose a day in your life where like, oh, I want to repeat
9/11?
this?
No, I'm joking.
9/11. It's good. one.
Jesus.
That's good. No, I want to relive 9/11 over and over again.
01.
Would you go and stop it or no?
Oh, maybe on like the 10,000th time, I would finally be like,
The
I'll do
10,000th time.
that would be, but I would have to like go from, I wonder if
It'll
I
be a
woke
risky
up in
comedy.
Boston.
It'll be a risky comedy.
That is a funny one.
That
You
is
wake
funny.
up on 9/11.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
But
Bleep it all out.
Yeah.
would you what would you take advantage of on 9/11 having it happen over and over again? Like what would be the good to take from it,
I feel like the good you could do, I would think that I have to stop 9/11 to get out of my loop. So
Right,
I
of
would drive
course.
to Boston and I would prove that like, what's his name from Family Guy wasn't there waiting for the plane.
Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, I'd be like, dude,
Do you think he's
weren't-"
lying?
I mean, I click on a lot of 9/11 stuff on YouTube, so his interview about that comes up a lot on my homepage.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like
You end up. I think you'll be like sorry, what's her name? Sarah in the movie, where you will learn how to fly a plane, and then eventually go there and
that's I
Yeah.
love that they
Push them
do that
out.
in this movie.
I know. I love that too. That she learns quantum physics.
But that's all
Yeah.
pitches, right? But even like
Yeah.
before that, when they have all the examples of things they do in this loop, and one of them is stealing a plane and flying it and crashing it. To me, that's like a hardcore comedy pitch that comes like post written script, and I'm like, that's what makes Lonely Island and Andy Samberg and those guys so good, is that they're using the wild pitches and it's
love
like
it.
almost an alt.
Yes.
That was written by
Yes.
like know, and I'm just like, the fact that they're using that, filming it, spending money on
Definitely.
it, they love comedy.
I love
For example,
that.
if you guys have seen The Edge of Tomorrow, they use the same moments, but it's an action drama, right? It's very
that movie.
everything is very serious. It's a great movie, but then how to reverse that is that like terrible things that become really funny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when they show him like dying a bunch and all that.
Yeah.
Right? He dies a lot, but he dies like in a funny way. It's
I love when like death is very underhanded.
yeah,
Like when it's not no longer a big plot point. It's just like
Yeah.
like I love that this movie is like that. They all just die
they
and over and over again, and it's like
The
I like
pain would
when it's
freak
no
me
big
out.
deal. Of course.
Yeah, that like
course.
scares me every time I see it. I'm like, oh.
the plane.
Or just like the arrow that he
The
gets hit.
pain
I mean,
of-
she runs in the middle of that truck runs her over. It's
yeah.
like so many.
Dude, yeah,
and then he
I know.
even says like, "Look, make sure you die because a slow death in the ICU
Horrible.
is even worse."
I think that if someone got me into that situation, like J.K. Simmons, Roy
Yeah.
in the movie, I like the idea that Roy is just like, I'm gonna like torture you.
Yeah,
I like
I'm
that they
gonna-
You
show
would
him
do that?
I would waterboard him.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
but,
think
like,
I would
they-
probably
like,
too.
with like smart water.
Honestly,
Like just to be funny.
I think at first I would be angry, and then I would probably do what J.K. Simmons did, which is just kind of hunt them until I'm like, fuck, I just don't want to see them
Oh,
anymore.
I just thought of a cool thing I could do since we're on a loop.
Yeah.
I would have a gun and I would shoot at airplanes landing at LAX
Oh my gosh.
just to see what would happen.
Yeah, I mean, you can do all the bad things that you ever thought, right?
Yeah,
And
that's
probably.
one of
No consequences. Yeah.
Exactly.
I feel
But-
like that's when
They
the
have-
movie starts, right? He's been around how many years doing this?
They
And
never
he has-
say, but
I think years and years.
same.
Yeah.
But in my head, I want it to be like 70 years. Like, that's what I really want.
Mentally, he's like 100.
He's like, or like 200. Like I
Oh,
think that's
geez.
cool.
I heard somewhere that it's like 40 years.
Oh really?
Okay.
Yeah.
And that makes
Makes
that,
sense.
that would make more sense, but still, I mean, because the first time he plays, right, like you think, okay, you're understanding the basics of the mechanism with him, and it's like, but 4 years doing the same thing. I mean, you know every character really well at that wedding.
That's why he's a
right?
nihilist.
Well, he had sex with all of everybody.
With everybody.
And the men. So fun.
Yeah. But
I would definitely
Nice,
do
Carla.
that too. Just like probably just see I mean, 40 years, you just every possibility.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you will go crazy.
Oh,
Yeah, they're like,
no.
Carlos, you never had sex with any of the women. Oh, we could do that?
I've been targeting the men.
But if you guys had to relive one, well, I think your 9/11, I will keep it because it's too funny. But which day would you relive if you have to awake every day on the same day?
There hasn't been. I mean, I've had a lot of great days. But I feel like the best. Okay, this is gonna sound really like stupid, but then I think the best days have not come yet. But if I had to in the past, it's
Maybe
very
in China?
difficult. No, nothing in China.
I know.
Nothing. No, I love China, but that world is so foreign to me now.
Okay.
I'm definitely very American now.
Yeah. Do you ever do a stand-up in Mandarin?
Never.
Never.
I think well, I'm funny in Mandarin. I make my family laugh, but I don't have a
Probably
routine.
be a billionaire
Right.
if you did.
But it
I
doesn't
mean,
work the
maybe.
same, right? Also, probably you wouldn't be able to joke about the same.
No, not the same topics. So I don't even know how I would do. And like my vocabulary is not that great. Like my family's from rural China, so my Mandarin is very rural. So
Interesting.
I'm not like smart in Mandarin. You know what I
It's
mean?
like the southern version of China.
Yeah, I'm like,
Oh,
we're
that's
like
cool.
farm town, like basically just so. Well, it's not like the southern version, but it's just kind of like hick, you know?
Interesting.
So I'm not very eloquent in Mandarin as I am in
English.
English.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I don't know how well I would do. Because the stand-ups in China now, they're very like, they're almost like they speak poetically. And I can't
wow.
keep up with that.
It's like
really.
one step below rapping or something.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, okay, you guys stop. Don't take yourself so seriously. Maybe I will go and change the trend of just speaking so eloquent and
Just
poetic.
do what you do then.
Yeah, I'll
That'd
just
cool as
I'll
fuck.
just start saying some like country hick bullshit.
I think
Yeah.
that's cool.
I'll change the culture.
Got some rapid fire questions here.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
What is your favorite movie snack, Andrea?
I like fruit. Is that
Oh.
lame? I like
You're the
fruit.
healthy.
You bring fruit in the theater?
You go-
Sometimes.
That's funny.
Yeah, I just like
Papaya?
I like how refreshing it is because like
Of course.
because popcorn and candy weighs me down. It makes me sleepy.
Mm,
Like I know the sugar, but then I crash really quickly.
yeah.
So usually the fruit sustains me. I do bring in my own
bring
fruit. Sometimes I bring in chicken wings though. That's my like.
Whoa, that's baller.
I'm
Yeah.
horrible in a
You're
movie
the
theater.
I wouldn't want to be sitting next to you.
No, my friends have like filmed me like eating like a bucket of wings, just like
Hilarious.
How often do you finish a movie when watching at home?
I would say 80% of the time I
not bad.
finish. Yeah,
high.
yeah. Because it feels like not finishing your meal. Like it feels like leaving something open. My mind will be on it. I would say higher than that, like 95% of the time.
nice.
Only if I have to like run somewhere, do I stop.
If you were stuck in a time loop, who would you kill first in real life?
Oh,
You could kill anybody,
wow.
anyone at all,
I think
just for fun.
Anyone in my vicinity.
Okay.
and-
Just randomly, you're
Well, 'cause
like a
it's
fair
Fancy
killer?
Carlos, you're dead.
Yes. I mean, if you live in a world without consequence, I think you would do everything bad.
Okay, but hold on though. Don't you create a timeline that is like that when you do something and that day, like you're in the loop, but you create a timeline
For
that
the other
goes,
people.
yeah, a version of you go and experience that day, but not you in your consciousness.
I would still do it.
I mean, one thing that is, I think, very smart about the movie, because at the end of the day, to not get into that, I think the characters are, well, pain is real,
yeah.
and you have to live with yourself doing all those things.
That's
So-
right. Yeah, no,
So even if it's a fun thing in the moment, then you have to, I did this.
And you have a memory of yourself doing
Doing
that.
it.
Yeah.
I see. And it's like, if you like shoot someone 10,000 times, you like that's a very real
You
pain.
have a
Right.
memory of yourself shooting someone 10,000 times.
That goes with the Nietzsche's concept of eternal recurrence, which is kind of a theme in the movie, where it's like Nietzsche comes up with this thing in Thus Spake Zarathustra, where he says, if you had to live your life over and over and over and over again, how would you live? What choices would you make?
Wow.
It's just for eternity.
I
Yep.
would make the right choice eventually. Well, I would just go tomorrow. I'll make the right choice.
Yeah, you'll play a little bit, and then
You know what I
eventually.
would want to do? I
What?
want to blow up like a hotel on Sunset Strip.
You would want
Are,
to?
are you the Joker?
Why? Yeah,
just-
wait. What?
Why? Why?
Building company.
Ah,
Yeah, I would put
Oh, yeah.
C4 all over the Mondrian.
Oh my God. I know what you mean. Like,
how?
like walking away from an exploding, falling
But I would
building.
look. I wouldn't do the cool look.
I would.
not
Well,
looking.
I would not look.
Oh, I
you
would.
just want the picture,
Oh, yeah.
It's only cool
Who's
if you don't
taking the
look.
picture?
Well, I mean, at this
Eat a
point,
fancy-
he has.
I hire a
everybody.
photographer.
Yes,
Yeah.
everybody's ready for this.
But yeah, no. Okay, it reminds me of like playing Grand Theft Auto.
Of course. Oh, I have a good one, by the way.
Yeah.
I would see if I could kill the president. And this isn't like a political thing, like, but just to
This is
see
like
if I
every day you're training, you become
yeah,
a spy.
I
and,
want to see if I could kill the.
You eventually would. I believe you eventually would.
I think so too.
Would you?
I would throw.
You'd get
So
good
much
enough.
security.
No,
You'd
I
get
think-
good enough where you could. You'd have
What
enough
about a grenade
experience.
launcher?
I mean, I guess if you're doing it for 40 years every
Right.
day.
Yeah.
That's a little bit like with the edge of tomorrow. I mean, not to kill the president, but the idea of like every move that is coming your way. You know
Exactly.
exactly when the security guard looks this.
That's
mean-
how you do it.
And
Let's
then-
hope that you're near Washington.
Yeah. Also,
When
you have
the
to drive
time
there
loop-
first.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you
exactly.
gotta fly there first thing.
Well, I would just find like the most VIP person in my area, and I would see if I could get to them. Like,
Right.
I feel like killing Leonardo DiCaprio would be like 70% as hard as killing the president.
No. It would be so
hard.
easy.
No, he's got bodyguards.
Does he?
Hell yeah.
How many?
Probably 2, I would
And
imagine.
all those
That's
girls,
only two
all those
people.
girls are bodyguards.
No, Leonardo
all those
DiCaprio.
25-year-olds are bodyguards.
No, I know what Leo actually does.
Yeah.
He has bodyguards go in first, and then they clear the room. Then he comes in with bodyguards, and then ones follow him.
Then
That's
you
how
have
he-
to do the Godfather style. You know,
that's
you
like
have
at
to
the-
plan the gun beforehand and all of that.
Exactly. 'Cause that's how he does it, like at the U.S. Open and places like that.
I think this movie is inspiring the wrong thing on both. Of them. I don't think the message of the movie or the themes
Who would
are
we kill?
aligned with that.
Never kill Leo.
I would go save everybody in the world.
See, that
I would bring peace to the world.
No, but I think one of the concepts of the movie is like that he has to grow up, right? He has to, I guess, like he's a big child.
He falls in love, which is cool.
He falls in love and has to kind of like, let's
That's a big deal.
grow.
Yeah.
I know he falls in love with. It's so beautiful. I
so
think
hot.
that's why she's great.
Yeah.
And I love that she learns quantum physics. I love a
know.
girl that takes it into her own hands.
I love it. And
You
she doesn't
know?
like, she just escapes one day.
And like I love that she's flawed. Like I love when both
Definitely.
characters are flawed. Everybody has and she has the secret, like that reveal.
That's good writing. That's what the
Right?
Pete Davidson movie
Very
will not have.
modern writing too, like especially for a women, a female character.
Yes.
It feels like it's a contemporary movie.
Oh, yeah. of
Right?
course, yeah.
Like she's the one that,
Yeah.
did the fucking and the cheating.
Yeah,
And then she's the one that learns the quantum
How to
physics.
get out of
How to
here.
get out. She saves Andy Samberg. Like,
It's cool.
yeah.
yeah.
I love that.
I love when characters learn something in a movie. They like develop
Mm-hmm.
a new skill. It's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like most Hollywood is like that, like the idea of like growing or learning something.
But I feel like
changing.
some fake it, but this seems to be like, no, she literally like leaves her scenario, goes and studies for like a year or whatever.
Yeah.
Like to
Yeah.
me, that's cool.
Which
Yeah.
he never did. Like, for
No,
40
he's-
years.
He
Come
was
on.
there like in bed every day.
Come on. Yeah.
He was so apathetic because he can't
I
kill
know.
himself. He can't die, so he just goes around.
I wouldn't have learned quantum.
Freaking-
Yeah, you would be like him.
I would have.
Yeah, I wouldn't even have thought to do that.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I can't do
The
that.
biggest thing for me was when she came around, it pushed Andy Samberg to be better. That's kind of what happened with my wife, that she, made me better. You find the right person, you're like, oh, I should be doing these things and
That's-
growing. And,
Yeah.
and that really resonated with me, is like, a good woman will do that for you.
I've never had that.
Are you guys romantics? Are you a romantic?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
am. And I think maybe that's why I love this movie. Because, they do brighten each other's lives. Like, they're stuck in hell,
Yeah.
but they're having so much fun together. And they're experiencing all this together. And they are making each other better people, you
Yeah.
know? So I agree with that. Like, that a good person, a good partner
Match, yeah.
makes you want to be a better version of yourself. So...
I'm not romantic anymore. I'm like realizing that right now.
You're
just trying to-
cynical.
do
No,
a second line 11.
Yeah,
exactly.
But yes,
Because I feel like I've had that thought, Andrea, before. Like, oh, a partner makes you better, and then like,
actually, you're looking less than
Love the hat.
Roy and more like Hannibal Lecter.
I love Roy in the movie.
Yeah.
I love him so
Wait,
much.
Roy?
J.K. Simmons.
Oh, yes.
When I'm dressed like, yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah. He's great in that.
so
I just
funny.
love J.K. Simmons and everything.
Me too. I was
Yeah.
like, as soon as he started talking, I just bursted out laughing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Even when he's like mad at Spider-Man in those movies, I'm like, he's so funny.
Yeah, but
Spidey.
he's so full of rage because of this city and he's trapped here. He cannot see his kids grow old, and that's I think one of the most serious moments in the movie, right? Like the fact that
At the
for
house.
a second you take it seriously because for
But-
most of it it's just a fun.
Sure, but isn't that like every parent's dream is that their kid doesn't... I mean, I talk to a lot of parents and then they're like, oh, I just want them to be that age forever.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that some
I
parents'
think
dream?
there's something
That
you
is, there is
say.
truth to that. There is.
I think there's something you say because they're cute and you control them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Then they become their own person and they're
Yeah.
Then they're not listening.
yeah. But I don't think that that's the true sentiment. I think it's something like cute to say. It's like
Yeah.
It's like saying like I would love to live this day forever. you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
No,
Like,
yeah, but
it
they
makes
don't
sense
mean that.
for a minute, and then it's like, wait a second.
I can't think of any day that I've had in my past that I've want to live forever.
I might have... Yeah.
Especially if you remember, like this, if you're in a
Yeah.
time loop like where you remember every day, it'll be hell no matter what.
Exactly.
Because eventually there's nothing you can do, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I have this day where, I mean, recently I started seeing someone and then it's been great. So then I guess
How'd y'all meet?
one of the dates, just,
Through town.
life.
Okay, cool.
At a
Yeah.
wedding, were you about to
Not
give
at a
a
wedding.
speech?
But yeah, maybe one of those days.
Okay.
Yeah, where it's just like, because then, it's fun if you're stuck with someone. I would probably drag them into the loop with me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
No.
funny.
Would I? No. That's so selfish. I wouldn't.
I think like
No, I wouldn't.
You should.
I wouldn't. That's
not
so
to bring a
mean.
different movie, but I don't know if you guys see this movie called, I think it's called Passengers with Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, I
Yes.
never finished
Oh, yeah. So
They're
he
stuck on
does
the
that.
spaceship.
It's
Yeah.
similar in the sense that that he is alone and
Yeah.
decides to bring someone with him
Yeah.
because he cannot. But it's so fucked up. I mean,
It is.
Yeah.
it's a weird movie. Also, I think like it ends
It's not
the
very
wrong
good,
way
right?
because
It's not bad, but it's not great.
Damn, I need
but
to finish.
thematically it's so fucked up because I feel
Yeah.
like at the end, right? So he's alone here.
Yeah.
He's looking and likes this pretty girl who's like sleeping.
Yeah.
So
And he wakes her
her up, knowing that this is like, it's like bringing someone in this loop.
Oh, God.
Now you're trapped with him because he likes how she looks because he doesn't know anything about
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Then she actually falls in love with him, learns the reason why she is there,
Yeah.
and then
Of course.
accepts it. And that's to
She
be
And
like,
then they
accepts it
live a
at the end.
beautiful life
Right.
together.
Like
and
in space.
yeah, by
Yeah.
themselves.
which, like, I don't know if that justifies.
It
Right.
doesn't. He lied.
Yeah.
Pissed.
I know, right? Like,
Right.
you killed me. You killed me.
Yeah,
You
like
know?
you woke me up, you lied. Like
Yeah.
it's just like a manipulative dude.
Right, and it's like the J.K. Simmons thing, like
Yeah.
he's there because this guy drugged him, and
Yeah.
and now he has all this rage.
Actually, I wouldn't drag someone in. I would just repeat that day so I could at least be with
With that-
someone.
Mm.
Yeah,
But then I won't drag them into this hell.
yeah,
Yeah.
with like 50 first dates or whatever. You know, yeah, they don't remember you, but you every day you try to impress them.
But that sucks though.
Yeah,
because
it's
it's
like-
like you know so much about them because like
Yeah.
you lived so
it
much
feels
with them.
weird. Yeah.
But then they are not as close with you, so then it just feels. Oh, actually, I don't even know if I want that.
I think the concept
like
of
when
this
you-
movie is fun when you watch it, but if it were to be true, it would be a nightmare for anyone.
I
you
know.
It's there's no possibility.
Honestly, I would just be learning quantum physics every
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
and
yeah,
doing
you-
the thing.
I don't like knowing things about someone who doesn't know something about
I
me.
hate it.
Like,
I
For
hate it.
dating, I don't like going on people's Instagram before I like meet them or do anything
you
like
don't
that.
research them,
I don't want to have a fake idea of them. I want
Right?
to
Yeah.
learn from them.
but you also go through like Hollywood Boulevard with your car open.
Oh my god!
Do you?
Let anyone
I
come
told
in.
a crazy story on Bad Friends the other day.
I'm saying like you're not the safest person.
No, well, actually, I am because the websites they go on are very
exclusive?
secure.
I see.
No LAPD allowed. Get out of there. It's for me. You won't know my username.
Meanwhile, you're talking about doing another 9/11
9/11,
and killing the president
you're
on,
dating.
on
Yeah,
podcast.
people, I will research you for
9/11, killing the president and blowing up the.
You said
Bonjon.
all red alert things.
Oh, shooting at airplanes on the tarmac.
yeah.
Um,
This is gonna be flagged.
yeah. So I think like one of the things that stuck with me watching this movie is this idea of made me think about if I'm alone, you know, for so long, you know, how would I cope with that? Did you guys ever feel, especially you being a foreigner, going to Canada, then coming here by yourself, do you ever feel isolated? I feel this city is not a very welcoming city. Maybe for you it was different.
I was lucky that I knew a lot of people before. Oh, I didn't, but like the people I knew were very welcoming. And then they introduced me to, you know, bigger communities. I think like being part of the Asian community too, like people really ushered me in. There were a lot of older, like more veteran.
Like Rex Dizzy, people like that.
Right. Yeah, Rec and
You know, Dumb.
Dumb
Cool.
and Rec, Dumb and like a bunch of other like Asian creatives in the
Yeah.
industry like really
cool.
were very welcoming and nice. So
Rec's
I
the
was
best.
lucky because I know a lot of people have a hard time moving here
Yeah.
for years and years. So I feel very fortunate.
Same here. I felt lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like knew. Yeah, I met Bobby pretty quickly. Into,
Oh, I love Bobby.
Yeah, I met him like maybe a year into living here. Like I met a lot of the friends I have today. Like I met
Yeah.
them within.
So you guys didn't feel isolated in LA.
I never did. But that's very
We're
like
the lucky ones.
it's very lucky. Like
Yeah.
I think about it to this day. I'm like I'm grateful because I hear people complaining about LA
Yes.
or something
Yes.
like that, and I'm
I
like,
just feel like it's not a city where it's easy to make friends. Sure, if you have someone introducing you, but
Yeah.
first, if you
Yeah.
move here with no, I mean, I guess you you meet people through work, but it's not a
Yeah.
city. You're driving all the time. There's no center.
you have to have value. I feel like in LA, it's like a Washington
Yeah.
D.C. I always think we talked about this. We've talked about this where we're like, I feel like it's like politics or something, and I always feel like we're like in a version of D.C. And so, yeah.
Oh, I see that actually.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
I agree with
I
that.
think about that all the time. I'm like,
Yeah.
we're all just politicians.
Well,
we're all,
because like people introduce me to people and communities because I'm a stand-up and I'm
Right.
good at what I do, and then that's the reason. If I was
You
just like,
belong there.
yeah, if I was just a girl that moved here, I feel like people wouldn't be as happy.
because it's a value thing. What do you bring
Right.
to the table? I feel like LA's
But still, in your situation, you guys are one in a million. How many people want to break into stand-up that come here and they're never gonna make it? You know, I think like
that always confuses me though, because
Yeah.
like for me, like to break into show business, I just went to the Comedy Store.
yeah,
Like,
You know
and
what? Yeah.
and from there, it's like you can make or break, and you can either get along with people or you
Sure.
can't. But like, it was like 2009, and I just walked in there, and like I met the people whose weddings I've been to this day. So
wow.
like,
I think
very lucky, of course.
I think a little bit of luck. I mean, obviously, personality, talent. You know, you need
Yes.
to eventually, when you get the opportunity, if you're not funny, you're not gonna get past, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But still, I feel like so many talented people who come here. You know, they say that this city of dreams, but it's also city of broken dreams. You know,
oh yeah.
For sure. And you feel the ghosts.
you do,
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
I try and
People trapped in this
before-
loop
yeah.
of trying to make it constantly. You know, like they go, you know, to the Comedy Store every day, and they're never gonna get to meet the.
But that's not being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Like you can have an honest conversation with yourself.
Can you?
I really, but a lot of people don't. which is like, am I really doing something here? Am I making money? Like, are the people I look up to around me actually like receiving me? Things like that.
Yeah,
Answers
exactly.
you probably said yes to.
Exactly. So you have to be self-aware enough.
Mm-hmm.
Because then if you're going to the comedy store every day for years and years and nothing is hitting, that means they're probably not self-aware or like likable as a
Happens
person.
a lot.
No, I see that happen all the time.
Yeah.
But they're almost stuck in their own time loop of like, they don't know what's going on and they're not changing anything. They're just not self-aware.
Crazy
But
Hollywood
if you're
person.
not a little delusional, how are you gonna make it in this business? Because
No,
if if you put it on paper, it's like your path is 1 in 0.000%
Of course.
of making it. So you have to believe somehow that you're different.
but the delusion has to be tiny. If it's like too much,
Okay.
then nobody can
drug.
relate to you.
Just do a little bit.
yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, fair. Okay, what's your favorite scene in the movie?
You go first.
I really like the scene where I like What's Your Irvine, where they're meeting in the backyard. That's like I like the heartfelt scene a lot.
You
where it
like the
comes-
heart.
where it
Wait,
comes
what's your
together.
Irvine?
Where J.K. Simmons is in the backyard.
Yeah.
He's like, I
Well,
love
this is
Irvine.
basically like Find Your Irvine.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Yeah.
I think that's like a really beautiful scene. And if I like the very like romantic or like heartfelt scene in the middle of a comedy, I'm like, yes,
Me
this is
too.
what's
The-
elevating
the-
shit.
after the meet cute, kind of like the
That's
going
why it's
well
worth $20 million.
thing. Yeah.
It's like
Yes.
that scene. It's like little
Yes.
things, the reveals, that scene. It's like, dude, that's the difference between not getting like a Hulu deal and making a 20 mil.
100%.
Like,
The
I
montage of them
totally
being
agree.
happy and doing things for each other and bringing
That's
the
so
cake
cute.
to
That
the-
montage
Yeah.
is so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I like the death montage too. The J.K. Simmons like torturing.
Yeah.
That's fun.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
And like a pain in the ass to shoot too, but they love the comedy so much and they're so committed to
They're
the
willing
script.
to do it.
They're like, fuck it, we're not gonna be lazy this day. Like,
Yeah.
we'll shoot the waterboarding scene, the like torturing with electricity scene. Like, let's just go for a
I
day.
know, and I appreciated seeing that. I'm glad that they did it.
I think it's like garnish on a burger on your fries or something, or like fancy salt. It's like we're gonna pack it with like
with fun things that will never let us do in a more conventional movie too,
Exactly.
because this
I
is like,
agree.
okay, let's subvert all of that.
But this movie felt like the movie they could write or make. Who knows? I don't know when it was written, but after Pop Star.
Yeah,
Like it feels like we'll do this. Like we're gonna do one for us now.
absolutely.
Yeah.
'Cause I did love that fucking movie
Yeah.
so much. It's
Popstar. Yeah.
because for the same reason.
it's so funny.
It should be a shitty movie. It
I
is
know, right?
far
On
from
paper.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Just in execution, it's just
Yeah.
done
So
so,
I think
good.
they're
well.
very also with this movie very charismatic actors. You know,
Right?
Yes.
They hit the
Really?
notes really well, and then they
Very
they have the little
charismatic.
magical thing of movie stars.
I know.
Yeah. It's so cool.
Okay,
I
so
think my
what about you?
favorite
Yeah.
is okay. It's a tie between just the moments of just like you feel the love between them,
Mhm.
like when they see the dinosaurs
Yeah.
together, and then like they're just having there's that moment when they know that they're falling in love with each other,
Yeah.
Cool.
and that moment, and also when they kiss in the cave before blowing each other themselves up.
Very sweet.
Right? Like that moment was just like cinematically, it just was very beautiful, and like it was just like a climactic moment.
Yeah.
You know? And I remember just feeling like, oh wow, like I love scenes where or images in a movie where if you just saw it standalone, it means nothing.
Mhm.
But then when you because you went through this journey with them, this moment means so much.
Yeah.
You have
And
to earn it.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
the beautiful thing about movies. That's the art of like, connecting those
Yeah.
images. that
Exactly.
Nothing
And
else
then
is like that.
You just get chills from it.
So you feel it when they kiss, like the chills, you feel the emotion.
Of
like,
course, yeah. I feel like it's just like wow, they've been through so much together now, and now they're like trusting each other,
Yeah.
blowing each other up, ending this. You know,
Is that because you're in a new thing? A new relationship? kind of thing? No, I mean, that's a serious question because like I feel like I used to be very romantic and now it feels like a dead nerve.
You don't
And
get
that's
the
not-
butterflies.
That's like
You
a
know
very real
what?
thing for me.
yes, probably because
Yeah.
I met someone, and then it's like feeling good
Mhm.
about it. But I think before that, I was definitely like, I don't care about romance.
Yeah.
You know, I was like,
Okay.
who gives a shit? Like everything ends, everything
You have any
fades,
friends? No. I'm
right? No, I'll find
I try. This isn't a dating show.
No, but it is difficult not to be cynical once you have experiences, you know, and everybody has some experience of romance going wrong, right? So
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
it's almost impossible to have a.
I never thought that would happen to me though, because I'm
Nobody
a very
does.
romantic person, like
Yeah.
with movies and stuff. Like I very much like romanticize them and like
Yeah.
I obsess over them and think about what they mean.
Yeah.
And like the past 5 years, I've definitely like changed.
You became more cynical.
Yeah, I mean, I don't voice that to people. I don't want to be like a negative person with my
Yeah.
friends and family, but like
Yeah.
I definitely don't like I watched the movie last night and I loved it, but I didn't feel the romance of it. I thought she was like
Oh.
beautiful and I
Yeah.
projected myself being like, "Oh, I wish I could date that actual actress." 'cause
Yeah,
we live
yeah,
in
yeah.
LA.
She's brilliant.
Yeah. But like I didn't feel that love. Like I more felt like the torture of it all.
Yeah.
Like it just felt I felt like
Interesting.
crazy watching it in a good
Oh,
way.
interesting.
But do you think like dating? I mean,
Well-
especially with your apps and like the idea of like a menu, you keep ordering this thing and you go
Yeah.
one day and another day. So I feel like people don't, because in the movie they meet, even with the loop, in a
Yeah.
very traditional way,
Yeah.
right? Like they just bump into each
Yeah.
other, they
Mm.
start learning about each other, and then real interest comes from like, oh, she's cool, or I
Yeah.
can do these things with her.
Yeah.
But you
When
feel
you go-
trapped in them though in LA or in America or
But if you
Western
go to,
civilization.
I think like the mindset of going to a date today and another one tomorrow, you go with your thing of like, why I'm not gonna like this person.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Oh my
exactly.
gosh.
I was expecting that. Next
No.
one and
Yeah.
next one. And next
Dating
one.
is so tedious. Like when I was doing it on an app.
What
thing,
app were you on?
I was on Hinge and Raya.
Okay.
Which,
Right.
hellscape. But
Yeah.
it's like it felt like a loop of just like, all right, another person.
It is a
like,
little bit because you
Right?
keep doing now, but dress
think about that
nice,
all the
go
time.
this, put this.
It is
energy.
horrible to
Yeah.
a point where I stopped, where I was just like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I
That's
just
probably why
deleted the app.
you're dating someone now because you took action and like
Well, I kind of just met someone or like organically,
that's cool.
But I watched Palm Springs when I was in a loveless relationship of 5 years, and
Yeah.
like towards the end, it was loveless.
Mhm.
I don't even know if I was ever in love with him, but
Okay.
It's like
We don't have to
you,
get into that
you
now.
had a misty.
no, but basically,
way.
See, yeah.
misty.
yeah, exactly. I'm Misty's boyfriend.
Yeah.
But like anyway, the point is I watched it in the loveless thing. I still felt the love a lot. I think I've always been kind of like
yeah.
a romantic,
That's cool.
but then so I guess it doesn't matter.
No, that's,
Yeah.
When I see like real love, I do appreciate it still.
that's
Yeah,
cool.
and I think you can still like be cynical about your own life, but be a little more romanticized.
Yeah, I think
in
that's what I
the-
was. Yeah.
The images that you see.
Yes, I definitely like appreciate it. It's just more like when I used to watch movies, I would feel it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what movies do. You feel the feelings of the characters. And like I noticed that with Palm Springs that I wasn't feeling it. I was more just
Interesting.
laughing at everything, thinking it was hilarious, but I wasn't like having
Yeah.
that next experience that makes art.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. So what's then? This question is we want to start with Andrea. What's your
Irvine?
Irvine? What is that special place, or what's that thing that makes you fall in love or have something that's worth living for?
Ooh, my Irvine is stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
As cheesy as that may be,
Yeah.
I think it becomes easy to take life for granted, and then day to day, like you wake up and you take everything for granted.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's very easy to do that. But then I think stand-up brings me back into it, being like, wow, it's so cool that I get to do this.
Hell
It's so
yeah.
cool that I get to be at shows and like get ready for the show and then go up and do this. Like
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever be sick of that.
Yeah.
And the feeling is always magical.
Do you get anxious still going there, like nervous of like, this is not gonna work, or do you always have a great time when you do it?
Well, obviously, like I still have jokes that don't work sometimes for
Yeah.
sure, but I don't really get anxious or nervous anymore. I've done like thousands of shows, and to a point where it's hard for me to get anxious, but the anxiety has turned into kind of oh, this is cool. Like it's like almost excitement. I'm more so
The next
excited.
level.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
And
yeah.
does it act like a little bit of a drug, like the adrenaline
Yes.
of getting that? Like when your set is over, do you feel like, oh, I want to go back?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like a lot of comics talk about stand-up being kind of like a drug.
Yeah.
But I think it's healthy. I don't think
Healthy
it's
drug.
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad. I mean,
Well, I think I saw forgot if it was Viola Davis or someone like giving advice to actors and say, hey, you have to have a life outside of this, because when
Need
you
to live.
do it like we do it,
yeah.
and we put everything on this, when we don't have it, it's misery. If you're not on set, you're
Yeah.
always miserable, you know?
I get what she's talking about. Like with stand-up, if I don't do it for a while, it does feel like, oh, what's the point of my life?
Right,
You
right,
know?
right. Yeah.
Stand up can be so competitive. I feel like that it would be hard to have a life outside of it for the first like 10 years or so.
Yeah.
That's why it's probably like good you're like dating and doing things like that, because I know a lot of comedians who they just do shows every single night, 6 nights a week.
And you know what? From the outside, like it looks a bit imbalanced.
Mhm.
Like you can, like when you're removed from that and you're like watching someone
Yeah.
do that, it's like, oh, you're not fulfilling the other parts of yourself, you know?
But if you're doing it, it doesn't matter what the outside would look like.
Yeah.
You guys want some movie facts here? That
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
So we talked about this, but it does hold the record for biggest sale of a film at Sundance Festival at 17,500,069 cents, beating the previous record by 69 cents.
Oh,
So I don't know if that was a
69
joke.
cents.
oh, that's obvious.
funny.
They obviously did that on purpose to break the record.
yes.
That's amazing.
That's funny.
I wonder who had the before.
Yeah, who was before?
Oh, I don't have that.
The skeleton has
information.
limited.
Yeah, the internet's
intelligence.
not great.
I have a
for
crystal
silent
skull, but it's
crash.
kind of broken. Andres slaps me around a lot. Palm Springs broke the record for most viewed Hulu release in its first weekend on the streaming service.
Yeah.
The
Because it came during the Black Lives Matter
Oh,
riots.
God.
People were like, I don't
2020.
watch TV.
the scene between Niles and Roy, where Niles compliments Roy's hat, and Roy responds, "Of course you do."
Yeah.
Was improvised between Andy Samberg and J.K. Simmons. I love that line. I love your hat. Of course you do.
Which is why it's so brightly lit, because they have multiple cameras there for that improv scene.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right, and that's what
That's
we're
what
talking about in
comedies do.
terms of comedy,
Yeah.
right? Like when you shoot a drama, you usually have very specific marks on the floor
Yeah.
for like actors to hit, and the lighting is very specific.
You don't need that for
and
comedy.
improv guy, no, it's not that you need it. It's like they hate it.
Oh, I know. Like,
They hate to be restrained to this thing. So in order to
So you put
open
two.
it up, you try
I've been
to
on
make them-
sets for that. It's crazy when they get that other camera and they're like, "We're gonna improv." I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna be like an hour of like jokes." Or
Right.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
like
And these days, I feel like movies like Spy or like
so good.
So good. Spy is so
the
good.
Yeah.
amount of takes they do with alternative jokes is insane.
Yeah.
It's like
I
almost working
know.
on TV.
I love it.
And then
well, they all
you-
came from TV. Those
Yeah,
guys,
yeah, yeah.
Spy. Yeah,
and then you play it.
Oh my
know,
gosh.
You try and editing and see which joke is better.
the
I
movie's
know.
incredible.
Oh, I love that movie.
Just
Yeah.
because of the writing and the jokes, it's another thing. The
Yeah.
script is fucking good.
No, yeah, in the writer's room, alts literally take up like 2 pages.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
And
could
it's-
so tell with Spy that the alts would have been crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
But Spy is so good. I've watched that movie multiple times.
Yeah.
I
Melissa
saw it at
McCarthy.
the ArcLight, like when it came
I
out.
saw it in the theater too.
And I was like
Oh.
blown away. I was like, it
Right?
was like in a small theater too.
All
and I
his
was-
movies are pretty funny.
yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
What else did he make before
Yeah, what
that?
else?
Ghostbusters.
No, Ghostbuster was after.
Yeah, but he made that one too.
He did. What's the other one that is huge? The Heat is or Heat. No.
Oh, The Heat with
The Heat
Sandra
with
Bullock.
Sandra Bullock.
That's right.
That
Did
was
you
just
guys watch-
before.
I didn't watch that.
Yeah, I also saw
It also has
Dome.
Melissa McCarthy in it.
Isn't I know Adam Ray has his
Adam Ray
name in it.
was in both movies
Well,
actually.
well, because he's like he was also what's his name from Ghostbusters?
Oh
Slimer or
yeah.
whatever?
He's exactly. So he got to play a little bit with
Santino wasn't in The Heat, right? I always
I
thought
don't think
Santino was
so.
in it with
I
him,
don't
and
know.
I made
he's
that
not.
up.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I
I
said
would
it
have
to
remembered
Andrew.
that hair. And
I know.
everything.
I said it to Andrew once. He was like, "I wasn't in that." I was like,
I see
Every
you everywhere. I see you everywhere.
Yeah, I should have said that, but to me, literally any comic that's like before 2015 and they're over 6'1", I'm like, they're all the same to me.
Yeah.
All those guys. Adam
Yes,
Ray.
Adam Ray has
funny.
that drunk scene with Sandra Bullock.
Anyway,
But
all those guys.
he's a good director and for comedy. But when we're talking about comedy in terms of having those outs and
Yeah.
a lot of the new comedies still having all those reaction shots, which we talk about when we talk about Big Lebowski.
Oh, I love reaction shots.
Because without that, you don't get the laugh.
Quick cut
Yeah.
after.
No,
yeah.
sometimes exactly. Without that, you don't get the laugh. Sometimes, like it's just like that's
You wanna
the
see
funniest
how the other
part.
person feels about it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
you're telling the audience how to react basically in that
Yeah.
moment. They
Yeah.
can choose whether
Yeah.
to do it or not.
It's amazing.
Are you interested in acting too, or just stand up?
I'm interested in acting and writing. I did a writer's room for Andy Samberg, but
Right.
then also, yeah, I want to be on screen more. But I love like
In comedy.
reacting in comedy,
Yeah.
like doing comedy on screen.
that was your
That's
only
cool.
writer's room?
That was my only writer's room.
Cool. And
Yeah.
you can talk about it now because the strike's over, which is
Oh
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot that.
Yeah, so you can
I was
actually-
going to anyway.
I know. I'm just saying,
Oopsie.
like, no, we're here now. So
Yeah.
you can
I'm so
actually-
bad at the rules. I was like,
you-
I
Did you
don't
pick
know.
it?
Of course.
Oh, if you didn't, it's
I
fine.
picked it with my brothers and sisters. Union.
Oh my gosh. I saw dogs out there. I was like, get them out.
I know. I brought my dog once, and then I was just like, oh gosh, she's so.
What kind of dog do you have?
I have a Bichon.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's
she's
awesome.
a little French dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I picked it like 4 times a week at one point.
Damn.
Yeah. No, I'm union
Yeah.
strong. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
We breached a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool. When is the show coming out?
It came out season 1. It came out. I was on season 2.
Right.
Yeah. But it's Andy Samberg's show Digman on Comedy Central. It's
Okay.
an animated show. Yeah.
Oh, who created that again?
Andy Samberg
But with who?
and Neil Campbell.
Yeah, Neil
Yeah.
Campbell. I worked with on Love.
Oh,
We had a crazy day
I
once.
love Neil.
Oh my god! The first time I met Neil Campbell, he was with the lead singer of Arcade Fire, because Arcade Fire wanted to make like this crazy movie, and like they were like just like go be with them for a day. So we had an Arcade Fire writers room at Paramount, and
Yeah.
Neil Campbell walks up and I go, "Do you want a coffee?" And he has a coffee in his hand. It's just like an automatic thing I said. And he just showed me the cup of coffee and walked away. And I was like, what the fuck? And then he ended up being like this nice guy. He's like this dorky kind of nice guy.
Yeah,
and I was like, that guy really did the coffee thing at me. That was really ballsy of him.
Yeah.
But he is really funny. I like him on podcasts too. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Doughboys podcast. He's really funny.
Yeah. No, sometimes he does that where it's just like a really funny,
Awkward thing, yeah.
savage little joke. And then he's like the nicest guy though.
Yeah, he's really fucking funny. So when I saw the billboards, I saw his name on there and I was like, oh, that's going to be fucking good.
Yeah.
Skeleton, can I get a beer?
Do you want one of mine?
I got you.
Well, they're going to toss it for
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For comedic effect.
Right.
Of
Beer
the
me.
island.
Bear me. Ooh.
So funny.
There we go.
It explodes.
Good.
I did that with my mind.
Oh, is that what happens when you toss a beer?
Oh no!
That's
Is
Keep
that
it
what
away from
happens
the
when you toss a
wires.
beer?
It's not on the wires. Don't worry.
There's no wires
It's
on
on
this
all the
island.
wires.
We're
That's
just
what
imagining.
happens.
Everything
Carlos.
is going.
I become the skeleton for real. My hair's up like in Home Alone. It's not on the wires, I promise.
That's what happens when you toss a beer.
Is that what happens?
Yeah, shake it up and it just.
only when you
Jeez.
shake it.
I don't know much about beer, but
Me neither. I just don't
Yeah,
like
also, so you don't like beer, or I'm still trying to find like the thing. I know it's the love. Now I
It's
get
the
that
love?
it's the love.
okay, but it's not
just.
just the love because if it's just the love, then I would watch some stupid rom-com and be happy.
Yeah.
This-
7 dresses.
you know what's funny? I was obsessed with that movie as a child.
Right.
Like,
A child?
like
A teen.
How old are you?
I was like, I'm 15 right now.
I
But
saw that when I moved to LA.
no, but I was like really young, maybe like 15 or something.
Okay.
I don't know why I had this like obsession with rom-coms.
They're good.
Yeah, I think I just wanted to be a white woman, you know?
Oh.
I wanted to be a
interesting.
white woman in a rom-com because I was just like Asian Canadian.
And now are you like,
lady.
fuck that? Like, I'm
Of course.
Like me on
I want to
set.
be me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
That's
also
why you're doing well.
that's also the
Thank you.
representation thing that we don't have to talk about. But for a while, when you watch a Hollywood movie, it's always the same cast. So
Yeah.
people need to do the translation to when am I gonna be there?
Oh, in the
Now-
90s when I would see like,
Yeah.
my dad's not white, so every dad in movies was white. And I was like, fuck this shit. I don't like. I can't relate to it.
Right?
Yeah.
I thought every kid was like a brat. I'm like, they don't treat them the same.
Imagine
Yeah, exactly.
every love story, there's never like a homosexual relationship. So you have to do the translation and say,
What
okay,
about
well,
Bros?
I could be like that.
Remember Bros?
Yeah, that's just last year, no?
I know, but I like to
Yeah.
point out that more people watch Bad Friends that Monday than Bros. In the
I mean,
whole
big,
country.
for sure.
but also there are bad movies. I mean,
I know. I just like to point that out that we're beating movies now.
And,
Sometimes.
not a
and
great
literally
movie.
like so much marketing for that movie.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And yet nobody.
It's
or-
not a great movie, even if the intentions are interesting.
Nick
like
Stoller's a good writer too.
But
I feel bad. Yeah.
but I feel like seeing like I don't know like
they're fine. They're fine. They're
Crazy
great.
Rich Asians. It's a romantic comedy when you have a cast Asians or like Get Out, a great movie with like the
Yeah.
protagonists are
Get Out's my favorite rom com.
yeah. No, I'm just saying in terms of like casting, casting against what you have seen as
Of
the norm
course.
for years,
Yeah.
and years and
yeah.
years. But yeah, okay. So the movie also, one of the things that I think it does is appreciates the small stuff. Like the little things that, because you have to live this day every day. There's like
Yes.
these small moments that make him happy.
Pulling the chair out. For the
Right,
guy. I love
like,
that scene.
it's
in the
like,
dance
Oh
floor.
yeah.
The-
He always has.
That's
to.
the only thing I would have done. I think if I was in a time loop, the only thing I would do is put chairs out for people that are sitting down.
Yeah.
That's the coolest
It's
thing you
like-
could do.
But for example, so one of those things, one of those moments that made me laugh so hard is like in an kind of Edge of Tomorrow, which you only know later that's why he is able to do it.
Of course.
Is when he's dancing around and gets in between everybody
know.
and dances with everybody exactly synchronized.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, you think he's just being an idiot and funny, but then it's like, oh, of course he knows every move and everything.
Yeah, because he's like
right.
way too smooth.
But
Oh,
my question is like, what are like small things like that you love in your life or like that you appreciate so much? What are the small stuff?
Mine would be my drive in the morning on the 5 freeway.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I would just zip in and out of everyone. I mean,
Ooh.
so I love doing that. I drive crazy.
you drive fast.
too.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I like that. I like that. That's like a sign of being funny too to me.
Yeah,
Really?
Oh yeah.
How so? How?
not
Being like a risk taker, someone who
Yes.
just is on their own path.
Yeah.
You follow the rules when you want to.
Yes.
don't listen to anything advice Carlos has to say.
Andrea's endorsing it.
No, but I feel like that's so American to drive fast and love guns.
We're cowboys.
Yeah.
We're men of the West.
I know.
You're from
love.
you lived in Vancouver. You get it.
I know.
I think they said that there is a hierarchical like brain who follows the rule no matter what. If there's a red light, you stop.
Yeah, I've heard of this.
And then
Don't
there's
like
the
that.
anarchic brain, which is like takes into consideration. They ask the question why.
Yes, of course.
It's a red light. I have to stop, but why? It's like 2 a.m. There's no one there.
Oh,
No
if you
one.
think I
Let me-
stop at red, oh my god! So the
Let
other
me
night it was 3 a.m. It was a week ago. Oh my god, I'm going like literally 70 miles per hour on Los Feliz Boulevard.
Yeah.
Hey, Anne Hayes.
yeah.
So, so I see the Griffith Park light. It's red. It's 2 a.m. I'm running that.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm gonna like gun through it, have a laugh. I see a cop to the left.
Oh.
I slam on the
brake.
brake, like,
Oh.
like so loud.
Shit.
So he makes his left onto Griffith Park or on Los Feliz Boulevard. He knows I did that.
Oh.
And they stop in the middle of the road.
Just
And
sit
they're
here
like, what am
drunk.
I going to do with this
Yeah, yeah,
motherfucker
yeah.
behind
Wow.
me? But he keeps going. Thank God. I mean, the car's a disaster. It wouldn't be good if anyone looked in there.
Right.
But yeah, no, I like pushing it a little bit. Even on
Yeah.
the way here, I push
Be
it.
careful, Carlos.
Me too. I push it as
Yeah.
well.
I
I
like
push
that.
it
I like
every
that.
time I drive.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Be careful.
Yeah, you have a
Andrea.
cool car. I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You have a cool car.
Thanks. We
Please
both
be
have
careful,
cars.
though. Please be careful.
We don't want to end up like you, Skeleton.
Yeah.
You know what
I-
that reminds me of in Harold and Kumar? Do you remember like when
Are we Harold and Kumar?
I think we are
kind of
Harold and
are.
Kumar.
Yeah.
We are, we
Cool.
are, we are. We are for sure, for sure. But you know in Harold and Kumar when wait, which one's Asian again? Is Harold Asian?
Harold.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I should know that from the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Kumar.
Yeah. Okay. Imagine if they
I always see Kumar at Soho House. He chills.
Really?
there. Yeah.
he would.
Yeah.
I don't know why that makes sense to
Yeah.
me. But you know, do you remember like when Harold is about to jaywalk and then
Oh,
you remember that scene? And then the cop. Yeah, that reminded me of
that's
that.
so funny.
Yeah.
So you guys were both super happy when they took the jaywalking out of the laws in California. That now
Oh my
it's,
God.
now it's legal.
And also
for
the
sure.
the cameras.
Yeah.
Oh, the cameras.
I got tickets from those back in the day.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they take out all cameras?
But they did, but they're coming back. There's some still
Fuck.
up, but they're
Yes.
not. They're
The
not
fuck?
really taking pictures.
Why are they doing that?
Just I don't know. Just probably make money.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Horrible.
if this movie.
Horrible. I'll
give
You,
peace signs
you
to it.
guys listen to both of you. I feel this movie has a lot of the actions have consequences, you know, and people have to learn.
I like consequences though. They're funny.
Yeah.
But you guys are like to live life without consequences.
Well, no. The consequences make it risky.
Yes.
The risk.
You know they're coming.
Exactly. If there's no consequences, then it's no risk. Then it's no fun.
I see.
You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then
Makes sense.
it's
I said 3 beers. I got a lot to do today.
Um,
exactly.
Disclaimer at the bottom.
It's noon.
Yeah. By the way, we're recording this at noon.
yes.
He does
Are we-
not want to kill the
I
president.
Kill the boss.
I would not want to kill the president. That seems so stressful.
That's so stressful.
Especially,
Of
you
a
know,
goal
it's
to
not
take
that it
on.
feels wrong, but it's more or less it's stressful. You
But
know,
can I
you
tell
might
you
lose the
something?
rest of your hair.
If I did a terrorist act,
Yeah.
I think that
You be funny.
well, one obviously, but like you know how in Rolling Stone they put the Boston bomber.
Yeah. You
I
wanna
would
be
hope that Rolling
that you
Stone
want to
would
be
like,
famous too.
they'd
Yeah.
be like, oh, Carlos did it, and it would just be me with my crazy
Right,
hair,
right.
sunglasses, and I'm
That's
like,
fun.
Yeah.
Time magazine.
I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
man of the year.
That's amazing. That would be the reason to do it.
Oh hell yeah!
Okay, I'm gonna wrap up with a couple more questions. One of them is like, what does success mean to you?
Success mean to me.
Yeah, what is being successful?
Oh,
you know?
that's a good
Great
question.
question.
Yeah, because it's transformed more and more
Yeah,
over the years, and
Yeah.
I think now it's just before you know it was like accolades. It was like things I could put on my shelf and like things I've accomplished. But I think now it's just being happy. Oh, why is that so cheesy sounding?
So true though.
but
so
yeah,
good.
just like
I think it's the best response, honestly, because I think like then your life, you know that you'll have other things like
yeah, and just loving what you're doing, like loving what you're doing and the people you surround yourself with.
yeah.
As cliche as that might be, but like
no,
it's
Mature answer. I love it.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel the same way.
yeah.
Right. Being
Even
just
the-
like happy
yeah.
with yourself.
The other day at Bad Friends,
Mm-hmm.
I had a hard day beforehand. It was stressful. Everyone was kind of getting on my nerves, honestly.
Mm.
And I remember thinking the whole day, I just wanted to be the middle of the Bad Friends shoot. When we're having fun, we're focused, we're
Yes.
sweating, like we're in the middle of like real comedy. We're just having a blast.
Yes.
Like to me, like I feel the same way about success. Like I get to like produce comedy with like my best friends. Like,
Yes.
and when I'm on stage, like on the live shows with Bobby and Andrew and Jet Ski, I'm just like, holy shit! Like I've known these guys for over 10 years, and here we are. Like,
Yeah.
how can
Good
life?
job.
How can life get any better? Honestly, like,
Success is being in the moment.
yes, I
Yes.
love it.
Yeah.
That's like what I'm kind of trying to say. It's just
Yeah.
like being able to do it in those moments, just being in those moments and
Being grateful for it too. How
Yeah.
even you reminded me of that. How like we had it like easier than a lot of people in Los Angeles just by luck almost.
Yeah.
And, like
Yeah.
talent and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And like I don't know. I just feel
Yeah.
gratitude. I love leaving Bad Friends. Every time I leave Bad Friends, I light a joint and I put on like a sports podcast or the news or something. But I
Yeah.
really reflect on like what a great night this was. Like
Yes.
we were like
Yeah.
we record a lot on Sunday nights. I want to watch football on Sunday nights. I would love to have a drink, but I don't. And I, for the past like couple of years, I felt so grateful that like we
Yeah.
get to pass the bars on the way back home, and that we
Yeah.
got to create something so fun. So
getting to do it. I feel like loving the journey is success.
yes,
Yeah.
that's success. Yeah,
Loving the journey.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
how I feel. I love the plane rides. Like even on the plane ride
Yes.
to Rochester, Bobby's like getting up every 5 minutes to diarrhea, and I'm like, this is hard, this is crazy, but I love my life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. How do you want to be remembered when you're dead
Oh,
in like
heavy.
100 years?
Oh, 100 years. I would like to be remembered as fun and funny and was nice to everybody and was not a piece of shit. I feel like a lot of people you know, they're really great and their work is really great, but then, you know, they weren't kind or like they weren't just a positive influence. I want to be obviously remembered for my work and my style and like what I brought to the comedy space, but I also just like hope that I was a positive influence on the people around me.
Yeah,
and
cool.
whoever crossed my path.
Are you family oriented? Is your family an anchor for you in terms of that? Not, you know,
I mean,
too up in the sky with success.
I would like to be. It's just they don't like me as much as I like them. Like my family, I love them, but they don't. I love them and I like them, but then they love me, but I don't think they like me. You know what I mean?
Because you're different, because you went into this space.
I think it's maybe. I think it's because of my American sensibilities. Like they're extremely Chinese and they're like extreme. They don't understand the way I think, the way I am. And I wish that we had more common ground.
That's like my dad.
Yeah.
When he came from Mexico. His family was very like there and he was very American. So yeah.
Yeah, right?
So your parents are
it's
very
hard to connect.
Chinese.
Yeah, they're very Chinese. And
Do you
like,
have siblings?
No, I just have cousins. I have two
Right.
cousins. And like,
Cool.
I was born under the one child policy. So I don't have.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I have a half sister in China I've never met, but like, I don't really count that. So,
Right.
so
You don't count. No.
yeah, she's the one. And you don't count specifically as a person, but
Just half.
and so, yeah, I care about them a lot and I tell them I'm going to take care of them. I feel very responsible for the people around me that I love and
Yeah.
care about. So I will always take care
there
of them
for
and
them.
stuff, but I just know that they don't like me as much as I like them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like when I say that, people are like, "Oh, that's sad." I'm like,
No,
"No, it's okay. I feel
I-
nothing. It's okay."
It's probably common for families too. I
Right?
mean, like especially like if you moved here and stuff. Like I said, my dad has the experience. It's
Yeah.
probably very normal.
So do you
Yeah.
have anyone who is the rock in, you know, for you, a rock in
The Rock
terms of-
and stuff.
Yeah.
Who is The Rock?
Who's the rock?
Who is Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
Johnson. No, I'm saying, like, do you have someone? Because I feel like for anyone in this space who starts getting success in terms of notoriety and fame, then it's easy to see them like fly very high and then not lose a little bit of the sense of reality and sometimes family or
That's
friends
true.
or who is
Oh yeah.
the people who bring you back down and say, okay, wait, take it easy. Don't be an asshole, like you said.
I think I'm pretty grounded as, but
Rec could help.
Rex Dizzy.
Yeah. Dumb could help.
It's Rex Dizzy.
Dumb. I feel like dumb could help.
Dumb is pretty grounded. Yeah,
seems that
Dumb's
way.
pretty grounded, I would say.
It's a good vibe.
Rec too. Yeah. That whole gang, they're very good at like
Been there for you.
keeping to the ground and
Yeah.
like if I get too many wild ideas, like for example, I was in New York recently and I was like, oh, I should move there. And then Rec was like, talk to me, like, and he just described a scenario where like my pants are wet in the
Yeah.
New York subway because from the snow.
I'm glad he
and
did that.
wearing all the heat tech and like all this jacket and you're so cold. Like he's telling me the harsh realities of like living in New York.
That's a good friend.
Right? And so, yeah, I think my friends.
Okay.
Friends
Yeah.
keep me in check. And yeah.
That's the same for me. Like it's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's some friends, but it's mostly like people like Bobby and Andrew. Like,
Oh.
specifically Bobby and Andrew really helped me stay grounded. Like, I really admire how they're not flashy people. They have like money and they buy nice shit, but they're not like jerks at all.
Yeah.
Like,
That's great.
yeah, even like when we work really hard at Bad Friends. Like Andrew runs a tight ship and like Bobby doesn't put up with no bullshit on the road. Like, you know what I mean? He's goofy and funny, but like we got to have our shit on time and stuff. And I feel like if I was to be a jerk one day or make money and be an asshole, like I would like Andrew and Bob, I would have them in my head as like, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
And so I feel like I'm grateful. I would never even arrive at that asshole level because of,
Do you have those people?
they're just, I feel like they're good gems in Hollywood. For
Good
sure.
anchors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1,000,000%.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. And last question. So for those who haven't seen Palm Springs, why should they?
feel like we spoiled a lot of it.
Yeah.
But it's just so, it's like a rom-com for smarter.
For hipsters.
Yeah,
Hipster rom-com.
For hipster, kind of like if you want a bit more than just like, oh, they fall in love, you know?
Right.
They fall in love in New York City and,
Yeah.
you know.
Which
yeah.
those movies are fun, but it's like, if
Yeah.
you want a bit, if you're a little bit more cynical, I feel like it's like more for a cynical type audience. Because it's like, oh, they're in hell.
Yeah.
They're like trapped somewhere and
There's
and
still love
she-
in hell.
she slept with her sisters.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But you know.
Yes.
It's a time loop comedy. It's like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but the movie version, but not as like wild. I don't know. It's just like if you're a comedy fan, you'll fucking love this.
Oh yeah, and just so many great comedians in it. Like,
Yeah.
what's her name? She was a bartender, Jen Fried or something.
I don't know.
So good.
She was the
but
bartender.
yeah.
Like her lines were so funny.
Okay.
Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, she's like just super dry and
Yeah, she
Okay.
has 3 or 4 lines, but she's always funny and
Kills it.
dry. Yeah.
yeah. But
I always
the
tell that to my
casting-
friends who are like comics who get in movies. I'm like, just kill your 2 scenes
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you'll be a crusher one. And like, you'll book another thing after this.
Well, it's like Brad Pitt in True Romance.
Yes.
right? It's like, oh, he really shined in that role of the stoner who's just like
1,000,000%.
giving direction. Like, even though he's not the lead, but
Mhm.
you always remember, oh wow, he was like charming little like role there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a friend. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I had a friend who was like the 3rd lead on a TV show a couple of years ago, and she was stressed about like not having a lot of lines and stuff. And I was like, just murder every scene you're in. And we went to the premiere of the pilot, and I was like, you fucking did it. I was like, they laughed at your scenes. You're not in every scene, but they fucking laughed at
Exactly.
you.
Right.
I'm like, and that's why you're gonna get another job after this. And she did.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a bigger impact than like being the lead and then not really
Not
having
delivering.
the best. Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
being Kramer in the Seinfeld pilot and then
Exactly.
getting more roles or
Yeah.
more lines
Yeah.
after that. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah. 'cause
crush what you do.
it's almost great when there's not enough, but then you crush it because it's like the audience is like, well, I want more of her or him. you know?
1,000,000%. This happens in sports all the time and in life all the time. There's
Yeah.
a basketball player named Austin Reeves on the Lakers. He's a backup. He shoots. He makes his threes when he gets the opportunity, and as a result, he's probably going to start some.
But
games
I
this
feel
year.
it's for everything, you know, whatever you're
Yeah.
doing, do the best
Yes.
at it. So then you can.
I bring up sports because it's a good
of
analogy for
course.
me. Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
love sports.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love like I've talked about this with Andres a million times, but with basketball, I love watching it as a game of life. I always think football is a game of war, but basketball is a game of life. You can manipulate, be a
Mm.
politician, lie to the refs, like get away, or even being a showman to the people in the crowd. You can.
Oh,
manip-
It's like soccer.
great.
I know.
It's poetic. It's
Do you
like
go to basketball games?
I don't, but I used to watch them.
Yeah.
I played basketball in high school.
They're so fun, and oh
Yeah.
my god, the Laker game. Oh my god,
No, there's-
we should go seriously
Yeah,
because
let's
they're
go.
fun.
Let's
they're like,
go.
oh my god, they're a blast. We'll take a
Like-
mushroom. We'll
That's when it becomes really, really fun.
oh my god, I'll take a mushroom and go to the Staples Center, and it's just like I'll see like Khloe Kardashian in the Lakers. I'm like,
mean the crypto
I'm in a
arena?
new universe. I love it.
You know, there's no feeling like playing a team sport.
Mm.
Like there's no feel. I miss it. You can't really emulate.
And now you're
that
just a stand-up
anywhere.
comedian alone on stage.
I
That's
know.
very different.
That's
no,
what I love about film. It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Oh, that honestly, it feels like that being on set.
Right.
Because I was gonna say like, you can't really emulate the team sport feeling. I don't think I've ever had that since like being in high school, being part of a team.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And then, but being on set is probably the closest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you're like all working towards.
I feel that way with
Like-
Andres. Yeah,
Yeah.
on Bad
Yeah.
Friends. Like we're definitely a team. Like
It's a
Yeah.
yeah,
team sport.
it's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Collaborative effort for sure.
Yes.
Well, Andrea, thank you so much for having
Thank
for
you.
coming here. It was awesome having you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you,
me.
Carlos.
Awesome. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, and
I loved it. I had so much fun.
Good.
you guys subscribe and join us next week for another episode of SOS VHS. Yeah.